Hello, everyone, and welcome to the premiere episode of Snuffed. We are new now, initially coming off of a 10-season run of the Bald, Bearded, and Wigless. The Bald, Bearded, and Wigless is no more, however, and now we are just Snuffed. So I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Jason, who is returning from the original podcast. Jason, it's so good to have you back. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, but I'm mostly now considering, like, why didn't we call this Snuffies?
Snuffs?
Snuffies.
Oh,
anyways.
Well, because we're not a gay dating app, love.
Oh, shit. I said
I
the
thought-
wrong thing.
I thought that was a food.
I thought that was Snuffies?
What kind of food is coming from Snuffy?
Like marshmallows.
Wait, you might be. Wait, is it? Hold on. I'm curious. Anyway, regardless, it's an LLC apparently. Anyway, point is, so thank you, Jason, for coming back again to do this with me. And then today we are also joined by the executive producer of Prestige Survivor, formerly known as Suitman Survivor, but everyone loves a rebrand. Hi, Lilly.
Well, Prestige, Snuffed.
Worldwide.
We are here, and this is official.
It feels so weird and new.
I know we got a
new.
new studio. Like, look, I mean, the audience can't see this, but like, there's like a giant dildo on the wall, and it's a weird choice, but it's like neon.
Well, part of Jason's contract to return was that he got to decorate however he wanted. So I had to kind of just let him have free reign with that.
This
So
is incredible.
that's
I mean,
Jason's
truly,
doing, not mine.
he's all out.
I
for
would.
yourself.
And it's life size.
Yeah,
It's
cool.
like, it's like a mechanical bull. Anyway, so obviously, you guys, we are all back on production for this new venture, this new journey. We got a lot of questions, honestly, from the trusted spectators today about Prestige in general, the inception of it, the season, the cast, all about it. We're actually going to make everyone wait, though, and get to those at the very end. So we've got a cast of 22 folks to get through, to toot and boot. That part is returning. And just giving our hot takes about this cast, which, frankly, dare I say, this may be the best newbie cast that I've seen in the server, personally speaking. But, you know, I
So
couldn't
many
be
great
biased.
applicants that we had 22 casts. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, I know. It was a rough process,
Yeah,
but
it was not originally going to be 22. I don't think we ever made that clear.
that is true. That is true. It was not originally 22. But, Jason, do you want to introduce the first person, or would you like me to?
I could if I was prepared, but please give me a second.
Because we've never done this before.
You
in 10
literally
seasons.
threw that on me. I
We've
apologize.
never done this in Snuff history. Okay.
That's true.
I don't know why we keep talking about history. when
So,
this
like,
is the
if we
first
make
season.
a video podcast, is it called Snuff Films?
Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
that is true. The production company is Snuff Production Company.
Yeah.
Nick, I'll actually hand this to you. You can start. I'll take the next one.
Very generous.
Okay, so
I'm a giver.
that you are. You would give me the name that I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce properly. He's Italian, so I'm assuming it's Andrea. But
That's my
I
assumption.
could have just butchered that. I don't know. Jason's partner is Italian. Either way, point is, so our first contestant is Andrea. He is 23 years old, from Italy. He was here to try and bring the W home. He said, "Stay tuned if you want to see every single one of my stumbles, how capable I am of humiliating myself with challenge performances, and how I'm going to find the love of my life in this org." Okay. Thoughts on Andrea as a whole between this bio and the general level of play we've seen the first 24 hours? I'm going to start with Lily on this question.
It's hard to say. I think he's a good player. From what I can see, I think he's decent. He does seem to be getting around. As if I can remember, what?
I mean, if he's trying to find love, he has to get around.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, Prestige Survivor is all about lovemaking.
Oh,
So, yeah. Exactly. But yeah, he seems to be, doing well socially, having conversations. This is always what you hope for. You just want someone to be active and be out and about. You don't need to be crazy. You don't need to be, losing your mind. So I like Andrea. Andrea. Sorry, I'm sure we'll learn throughout the season. If I was Jeff Probst, I would know this information. We would have video interviews and such. But yeah, I like Andrea. I think it would be a toot for me, actually.
Okay. Jason.
Yeah, Andrea seems to be getting around, which is good. He's one of the higher ranked players in a lot of for averages so far. So we did a quick little trust rankings experiment with all of the players before the first challenge. And he's solidly at the top of it. So obviously doing something right. I know it's still early. They're off to tribal council. The time zone's probably going to be difficult for Andrea and Damien, who we'll talk about later. But Andrea's already seems to be adjusting much quicker to this time zone. So I have a good feeling about their game. So a 2 for me as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think overall I'm enjoying what he's brought. I think there's a lot. The bio is funny, like I said, but I think there's been interesting gameplay and movement so far from Andrea. So I'm excited to see what he delivers. I really do hope though that like Jason was talking about, the time zone thing doesn't kind of screw him over, because you've obviously seen in past, Suitman seasons where time zones for people have kind of been the detriment in games sometimes. So hopefully that does not happen here, because I'm enjoying him so far. So hopefully we're good to go there still. But Jason, would you like to take Astrid?
Yes, I would when I get there. Astrid, she's 18 years old, a computer programmer from Miami, Florida. Now she's actually from the disaster zone of Florida, and extremely excited to be a part of the first season of Prestige Survivor, freshman in college, hoping to get a degree in computer science. And a cool fact about her is that she has heterochromia, specifically central heterochromia, which means I have a brown iris inside of a blue iris on both eyes. So that's an interesting fact about Astrid. Nick, let's start with you.
Yeah, so I think that despite being 18, Astrid already has shown that she's significantly smarter than your average 18-year-old, in my opinion, personally. I'm enjoying her so far. I think that she's proven to be interesting so far. Obviously, I don't want to dwell too much on past performances with, Suitmans and stuff like that, but she did play in Suitmans, did go pre-merge, but here I think she's thriving. I'm enjoying seeing Astrid play so far. I mean, kind of towards the middle of trust rankings, which isn't a bad thing for this group of people. Like, I mean, I personally would rather be in the middle than bottom or the top at this point in time, day one, but that's my take. But overall, I'm enjoying Astrid, so it's a cute for me.
Nick forgot.
I'll go next.
Look, he has to pass it to somebody.
I will go.
Oh, so sorry, I forgot that I was modeling the question. Oh wait, I wasn't.
Lily, take it away.
So I think, I don't know. I like Astrid, and I think she has a good head on her shoulders. I almost wonder if she's a little too invested for her own good. I think she seems smart, but I also could see a post swap kind of threat vibe to her. I'm gonna probably boot Astrid, which is surprising, probably. But there's a lot of good players that I would like to vibe with, and I can always go back to change it if I change my mind.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Astrid has started off strong. However, I almost feel that in the challenge today, Astrid took too much of a leadership role, and in not a good way because they did not perform well at all.
Sorry.
So I do feel like people are kind of clocking that Astrid was a bit vocal there, and obviously when that happens and you lose, it's something that they're going to take note of. However, I think there's other players on the tribe that will probably be considered for the first boot and not Astrid, but because they are currently in the middle, but that can change really quick. But there are so many good players. I'm going to join Lilly and boot for now and see if maybe that changes down the line.
You know, I'm going to also boot because I have a lot of toot as I'm currently seeing. So I'm revising to a soft boot. Sorry to Astrid. But next up from this,
that has to be a record for the quickest change.
I like going through right now as if we're talking simultaneously, and I'm like, shit. Like, first of all, I hate us for casting such a good group because it actually is legitimately difficult because most of the cast so far is active. So, eatery. But anyway, next up we have Ben. He's a 39-year-old restaurant manager from Las Vegas. Ben claims that he's here to entertain all of you. He says that we should watch him and draft him because he will be heavily involved deeper in the season. He can't promise he'll win, but he'll promise he'll be entertaining and make the most of his game. Final 7 lock at least. Lilly, thoughts on Ben?
I like him. Something about him. I just think it's a good vibe. I actually do like the final 7 lock. I get like straight up 7th place vibes for sure. Like, which is good, you know?
Right, yeah.
So I'm gonna 2 Ben. Something about him, like he just seems smart. He seems quick to the point, which is what I like in Survivor player. Someone who's not gonna be a weirdo, you know, just a normal person. Also, like a honka, according to his AI cast picture that I generated.
Amen. Yeah. So real. Couldn't agree more. Jason.
Yeah, Ben firmly in the middle of the cast or the tribe right now. I think they're approaching this very well. Like, they're not being over the top. They're not the first person that's coming to mind. They kind of took a backseat in the challenge, and the video confessional was phenomenal. So I think he has a really good head on his shoulders. And like, again, like what Lilly said, I do feel like solid final 7 vibes, but like 7th, which is a good place to be in the cast of 22. So it's a toot for me.
Yep. I love Ben personally. I mean, I am the one that did reach out to him and be like, please apply for this org. You would be perfect for it. You would love it. You'd be a great player. So I'm so happy he's here. I play with him in 2 other orgs, like past Lilly. I love him. He's a great guy. Anyway, on a game level though, I've been thoroughly impressed with him so far. I obviously knew that he was going to deliver in terms of professional content because I've watched him before. But yeah, it's all working for me so far. I think that he's in the perfect position right now, like Lilly, in terms of not standing out too much as a leader, but also not being so inactive to where he's at the bottom of people's trust rankings. So for me personally, it's a top 2. He's my top 2 of the season.
Wow.
So I know, hot take. It was a hard
and a record for quickest top toot.
I know. I'm just breaking all the goddamn rules this year, aren't I?
That's great.
But what can I say? All right, Jason, take it away on our next player.
Bliss or Blissy. Why do I keep getting all the Florida girlies? 19-year-old full-time student from Florida, which now that I say that out loud, is there something potentially between Bliss and Astrid? But before we get there, Blissy says she's a broke-ass college student trying to get through life, currently attending university, majoring in history and political science.
Wait, that's what I didn't know that. That's what I majored in.
No?
I had no clue.
I'm not playing this game, or else that would be...
Me not reading bios?
I'm
literally like hearing this for the first time. It's hilarious.
Yeah, didn't you rank everybody when casting came? She hopes to be a history teacher one day that coaches soccer. And while she's studying and failing to sustain full-time school with full-time work, she's quit her part-time job so that she can get a full-time job instead. Okay, that's just a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense, Bliss. Anyways, that being said, I will start with Bliss on this one. They have a very strong game, as we've all seen. I feel like all of the specs have been pretty excited to see her on the cast, and they are coming out super strong. Like Bliss is top 3, no lower than 3rd place in anybody's trust rankings right now. She has definitely stepped it up. It's very, very early, but in most Suitman's games that I've seen, if you're well liked, you instantly have a bunch of alliances, and you're at least getting to that swamp. And we'll see what happens after how those tribes kind of roll out. But Bliss is playing a super strong game. They even messed up in the challenge today. Did such a good job of kind of like self-deprecating themselves, which could easily be something that takes you out and demoralizes you. And they just kind of owned it, kind of made a joke of it. And I think they're going to be absolutely fine. Where Astrid, I feel, took a leadership role and they lost. I think Bliss is going to be viewed stronger for the tribe than even Astrid. So, and I know I'm saying a lot of really nice things. They're not even my top 2, but Bliss is a 2 for me. Lily, what are your thoughts?
I love Bliss. I think she is in a really good spot. I don't know. She could be kind of kooky in a good way, but also could be detrimental to our game. Kooky in a good way for us viewers. I'm going to her for sure. I think I hope she's a guaranteed merch spot. So 2 for me. I just like her. I don't know.
Agreed, Luck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, got this diva to apply. I reached out to Blissy, I think, when we first opened casting, and did not hear from her at all until the night apps closed. And was like, oh my god, I just seen in part 1, was it too late? And I'm like, no, finish this, hurry up. And then she ate. But so it's a 2 for me overall. I think that she's a great player so far. Definitely an early front runner, but my concern is with the front runner energy that she's already exuding, that's an easy target pretty early on. Not to mention too that she is open about her college drinking days, and which is, we love, good for you, but could spill out trouble later on. Who knows? But ultimately for me right now, it's 2. I stand.
I kind of agree. I could see Bliss going far and kind of in that Faven role where they get clocked at the end and don't win the game, but I could see them going far to at least get to that point.
Right. I agree 100% with that. Next up, we have 30-year-old actor from LA, or just kidding, California. No, it is LA. Brian. He's coming back into the org community after taking 2 years off, and he's decided now it's time to come out of retirement with an amazing org, and he thought this was a perfect place to play again. He describes himself as a fun and dumb player that likes to keep things entertaining. He's extremely competitive and selfish. He also is pretty active in the R Survivor community on Reddit, which we love. Good for him. And I think that I'm going to start here. I think that Brian personally is off to a great start. I think that he's established good bonds. He's been social. I can, even though it's day 0 technically still, or now day 1, I guess, I already see a bit of like a potential for a rivalry between him and Colby to develop at some point, which I'd be here for personally. But overall, I'm loving what Brian's brought to the game so far. I think he's entertaining, he's funny, he's insightful in the game. I think that he has that good game instinct too, where he's not afraid to cut throats or do whatever he can to survive. So it's a 2 from me. I'm going to go to Jason next on this one about Brian.
Yeah, I think Brian has started off super strong as well in the middle of this tribe. But I think the thing that I really like about Brian, and I know the T-Specs, they can't see the voting booth, and I feel like Brian's doing a good job of giving the specs enough content, but then going to the voting confessional to actually like talk things through and think things out. And I'm thinking outside of the box and almost probably wasting too much time trying to find idols in places that we would never hide an idol, but they had clearly played the game before, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table for sure. So I'm actually going to be second to do a top two. I think Brian is one of those players that can not be out front and be number one, everybody's number one, but sneak through to the end and win a game like this. So top two for Brian. Shocker.
Lily.
I love Brian. Two for sure for me. I don't know. He just seems to have a really good head on his shoulders. He's also on what it seems to me to be a really winning tribe. I really struggle to see where Iguana doesn't really kind of clean up this first portion of the game. And Brian is like firmly like in a good spot, not a leadership role, but just in a good spot, being active, and he just seems smart. So yeah, two for me. I don't think I'm going to top two. I think I got another top two, but two for me.
I also picked him as my winner pick, so I kind of have to die on this hill. Oh, sorry, that is my job next. I am 100% prepared and know where I'm getting my information.
Jesus Christ.
Christine. What's that?
Not first boot, that's mother. Yes.
Christine, 39-year-old stay-at-home mom from North Carolina, United States. She has 5 children, ranging from 5 years old to 16 years old, which I'm like very close to age with Christine, and I can't even keep my 2 dogs. Well, actually, no, I can keep my 2 dogs alive, but they give me enough stress. So I don't know how you're doing with 5 and playing this game. So good for you. She's ready to play a strategic, social, and unforgettable game, which means I'm going to start because of that. Because right now, all I'm getting from Christine is forgettable. Now, I know that they're currently going through some stuff, so they were a little late to the game yesterday. But I think they need to, and like, yes, they won the first challenge, so she's not going to be the first boot, but she needs to step it up to get higher in people's thought processes and trust rankings. And I don't know if I'm confident that they're going to piece something together super quick. And I hate to do this to another woman on the cast because I love to champion the women, but this is my second boot. Sorry, Christine.
All right.
I think if anybody does have the capabilities to turn it around, though, it's Christine. But I'll pass it on to Lily for her thoughts.
Yeah, I'm boot. It's not there. I don't think it ever will be there.
Oh, no.
I know. I think for the vibe I get is like Christina's like a career org player, and I never like that vibe from people. I like the idea that people are playing this game and this game only, and they care about the games that they do choose to play. Not to say that Christine doesn't care, but I do get the vibe that Christine has been in so many orgs that if she did get pre-merge, it would just be another one, and she would just shrug, you know? Which is fine. I just, I would have to boot it. I don't really love the spot she's in. I don't love her activity level. Yeah.
I feel that. Nick?
Sorry, I was eating a nerfed gummy cluster and I turned sour for a second. I love the
behind the scenes footage, everybody.
Yeah. Y'all can't see it, but there's a huge bucket of Nerds gummy clusters on the floor.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters. Very, very flavored. Yeah. Anyway, Christine, again, I reached out to her to just see if she'd even have interest in applying again, because she played on season 31 of Suitman, Gen 3, and was the first boot. And I was like, we kind of talked preliminary in casting and developing prestige about, for the first season, kind of wanting, if we're going to have alumni of Suitmans, to have people that kind of wouldn't be as well connected to the community predominantly. And I think Christine fits that bill entirely. But obviously, I hope that everything in due time, passes and they find healing with a friend and whatnot. But yeah, it's a boot for me, a soft boot, because I do have a soft spot for Christine. She's literally a mother. But obviously, I'm happy that she's immune tonight. But I think that she'd be an honestly probably easier first boot on Iguano if they ever do go to travel. So it's a boot for me personally. Sorry to her, but it's just the tea. But moving past Christine, we have 21-year-old physics student Damien from Greece. Damien is a self-proclaimed music enthusiast, listening mainly to rock and metal, and is a cinephile. Good on him. Slay movies, okay. He's been playing org since he was 13 years old. Few people will bring the dedication and heart that he will to orgs. He's unapologetic, smart, and funny. People are going to see him slip into the shadows and pull the strings from behind without anyone realizing. I'm going to start on Damien. I think that, I already see the vision that he has about being unapologetic and just kind of fading through the shadows and being in the background and not being too high of a threat early on. I'm enjoying what Damien's giving. The confessionals he's also given today have been actually funny too. So I'm enjoying Damien. I think that given the time zone thing, similar to Andrea, there's going to be probably some murky waters at some point probably there. But for now, I'm enjoying Damien. So it's a 2 for me. Lily, what are your thoughts?
I like Damien. I don't know if he's in the top half of the cast with what I have in front of me right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the vibe and I see upside. You know what I mean? It's just, do I feel confident that I can lock it in, as a tutor? I like to toot, but I'm going to have to hold off on this one right now.
Okay. You've had been tooting quite a bit.
I know, exactly.
I want to really like Damien. I love the Mediterranean vibes from Andrea and Damien, so I think naturally want to like that, but I'm kind of feeling what Lily is saying. They were a little behind with the time zones, and Andrea took advantage of that and was really active, and Damien was a little slower. However, loving the confessionals when they're actually providing us some stuff content. But the voice notes that they sent today were really good in my opinion. However, I'm using up a lot of toots right now. Want to like Damien, needs to fight out. We'll see how he does this travel council, but I'm going to do a soft boot on this one. Sorry, I almost changed my mind, but no.
Okay. Don't mind me being a turncoat right now because I'm also going to modify to a soft boot. Again, simply because the caliber of this cast, not to say that Damien's not a good cast, because this cast, all of them have earned their spot, quite frankly. So I'm enjoying them all. So, but it's a soft boot. I'm sorry. We only can
Let's be real.
We only can be
Lily and I changed your mind.
I mean that part too, partially.
Peer pressure,
though. But yeah, it's a soft boot for me, dog. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Damien.
Next up, we have, am I saying this right, Jinja?
I assume?
Jinja.
He's a 17-year-old student from the United Kingdom. Yes, so you would be right. It is Jinja. Wait, let me just make sure. She works at McDonald's, looking forward to ending a 4-year org flop streak. We don't talk about those ones. However, we just did right in your bio to everybody who was picking their fantasy team. She's going to try her hardest not to die. Let's start with Lily on this one.
I think she seems sweet. And fun. I don't know if she had the greatest start. I feel like Iguana's really stacked here. So I don't know if she had the greatest start compared to some other people in this tribe. So I want to boot Jinja, unfortunately. But I think the social game has potential big time. And, she's also the youngest member of the cast, which is always a struggle with all these adults. It's hard to relate. So we'll see.
Okay.
I'll head next. I agree. I think Jinja's kind of as the youngest on the tribe, and I feel like getting a little slow start into the socializing. And now that they're right into tribal council, like they're gonna need to step this up. Um, but I feel like they're struggling to get their footing on this tribe right now. It's still very early on, and they have the potential to turn this around, but they need to jump on it immediately. But based on the slow start, I am going to give Jinja a boot as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten a lot from Jinja either. Like, there's been a few like confessionals that were funny here and there, but like overall, her position on the tribe, the overall vibe I'm getting, it's just it's. I want more. Give me more. And again, like it's part of the circumstances being in a different time zone. You're 6 hours ahead. That's difficult, 100%. So that part I have a soft spot for. Also, too, to like try to keep that in mind and cognizant of. But ultimately, with this past win, it's a boot for me too. Sorry to her. But next up, we have 41-year-old events coordinator, allegedly, according to him, to the public cast. Henry from New Jersey. He has been married for 17. No, that's a lie. That's a lie. He's been with his partner for 24 years, and they have 2 kids together. He's a big nerd. May or may not be an attorney by day, and enjoy video games, crossword puzzles, and watchmaking in his downtime. He thinks his strategic acumen, challenge chops, and ability to fake the hell out of a social game will make him one of the more well-rounded and better positioned players in the game. He's relatively new to the scene of orgs, and he's finished second and third, and wants to use this game as an opportunity to get over the hump, finally perfect the formula, and kick the shit out of anyone who shares the island with him. Honestly, this is a fucking great bio. I'm going to start with Lily on this question, on like your take on Henry.
I think Henry's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I really like Henry. I just think he's a cool personality. You don't really see people like Henry play orgs, like very like distinguished. Like seems like he has a lot of life experience. And I don't know. It's just I feel like he should be playing real Survivor shit. So I really like Henry. I'm going to toot him. I really am rooting for Henry. I hope he can do well.
Yeah, I agree. Like I really have enjoyed Henry and what he's given so far. I think that he's insightful, obviously intelligent. Like, I mean, go lawyers. But I like his vibe. I think he's fun, entertaining, and no notes. It's a toot for me too. It just is. Jason, thoughts on Henry?
Yeah. No, I'm really liking Henry. I like even hearing him in the tribe chat today during the challenge. Like, took a real back seat. Was vocal about being willing to step in and participate. Communicated really well, but didn't take the spotlight when other players on that tribe, which we'll get to, took too much of the spotlight. And it was like almost giving me very Katura vibes because like as a lawyer, really hid that back, kind of playing down their strengths. And I think Henry has the capabilities to go very, very far. Almost wish I drafted them. But he's a very like, solid toot for me as well. Triple toot. Moving on to Jacob. 27-year-old software engineer from Madison, Wisconsin. Plans to use his scrappy charm to get himself that $1 million check, which I don't think we pay out, but he'll give you a nice badge. I'm here to be everyone's best friend until he's not. He's not afraid to create confrontation, chaos, and keep other competitors on their toes. Let's start with Nick on Jacob.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one for me. I just haven't gotten a lot from Jacob so far. Like, I think that he has the potential to be entertaining. Like, what he's given in his confessional so far hasn't been dull. There just hasn't been a lot of it. So, excuse me. So I'm like, give me something else. But like, I don't think that he's per se in a bad spot really either. But I kind of just yearn to see more from him. So for me right now, it's a boot, but that could easily change. It's, the first day. Also, for anyone listening, to preface, I always say this every podcast, for the cast participant, this is nothing personal at all. It's just based on your bio that you wrote in the first 24 hours since the morning. So don't take anything to heart that we're saying that may be seen as negative. Anyway.
And also note, like, we try our best to be as, like, we keep it even on our toots and boots list. So, like, we need to put some people there. Like, don't take it personally. Mm-hmm. And we've had many boots win the game.
Oh, yeah.
True. That is very true.
Wait, I didn't even hear my toot and boot episode. Anyways. Actually, I probably don't want to. Anyways, Lily?
I like Jacob a lot. I like confessionals, yes, need to work. But I've heard him on VC. I don't know if he's consistently going on VC with other people. I think that Iguana Tribe is really active and really like VCing. And he seems like very chill on VC. So I like Jacob. I like the vibe. Jacob gives me Koopa vibes too with the profile picture, and Koopa finds his way to get to the end a lot. So I'm going to give to Jacob. I really like Jacob.
All right.
Yeah, I should have taken it before Lily because I was going to go against the grain because I feel like we've all been pretty on par with each other, but I'm going against Nick on this one as well. I feel, unfortunately, Jacob's not giving the trusted specs, a lot of content right now, so hopefully that will turn around when we give them some more questions. It's only been 24 hours, but they're clearly putting in the work because the tribe seems to really trust him. He has been entertaining to watch in a group setting. So I'm excited to see what Jacob has to offer. I'm excited to see also what kind of chaos he can bring into the game. And considering, like, you have Henry, who seems anti-chaos, but then Colby, who is pro-chaos. It'll be interesting to see how this tribe rolls out if they ever get to a tribal council. Hopefully it will be soon because it could be fun.
True. I agree.
Alrighty.
All right.
Wait, this is your turn. Yay.
Way to cut me off. No. Next up, we've got JV. She's 18 years old. And one thing about her, she has no clue what she wants to do with her life. But after her first semester of college, she changed from nursing to elementary education, which she's very excited about. She loves readings, and she's always wanted to rant about a book too. Oh, shit. I need to fucking post Ingenious Professional Master Good Book Recs. I'm in between books now, by the way. Anyway, I'm actually on book number 10 of the year. I'm very proud about that. Point is, she's promising to bring great content and positive vibes for the season. She never gives up when backed against the wall in the game, and she thinks her ability to persevere is one of the best things about her game, and she hopes that we can all enjoy watching. I will start here. I have thoroughly enjoyed Jamie so far. It's a toot for me. That's all I have to say at this point in time. It's just a toot. Jason, thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen Jamie play in another server, and I've seen her win. So I'm a big fan already coming into the season. I am a little concerned because this tribe does seem stacked after one day. They're super, super active. However, she is firmly in the middle right now, it appears. She has more time to work on her relationships, and I think she's got that social game. She's a 2 for me. I think she's going to get far, but I am a little worried about this tribe. I just hope she can get through that. But she's also on my fantasy team, so I really need Jamie to win this one. Lily?
Jamie seems fantastic. Just overall, a great vibe that I like to see in a player. Social, I don't know, like sometimes you could just tell based on how people type, like they're just with it. You know what I mean? They're with the times. They have an alluring sort of vibe to them, and you can just tell Jamie's going to do well. At least I hope. So I'm going to toot Jamie for sure. I'm really rooting for her.
Period. All right.
Next up, we have Jared, 23-year-old voice actor from San Antonio, Texas, or a small suburban town outside of the big city, anyways. College graduate who obtained his associate's degree in drama about a year ago. Currently pursuing a career in voice acting, like I said earlier, while doing some singing on the side. He had already set up his own work office for voice acting, so now he's focusing on that as a career. Nick, let's start with you on this one.
Oh, all right. To start off, it's a boot. I think
right to the point.
Right to the point. That's what I have to say. No, I think Jared gave a great application first and foremost. I think that like he seems to be on the bottom trend. For one, for starters, that's a problem. Additional problem being, or I could see him going home as a result of tonight. But also, I'm just not seeing a lot of content so far, and it seems like everyone kind of has him lower for the most part. So I just frankly, yeah, like his trust average initially that we asked him for like preliminary trust rankings today, it's 8.60. It's the lowest of anybody on the entire cast. So for me,
the only person that has like the highest, where he ranks the highest is with the second lowest person on the tribe.
Correct. But yeah, 3 people on the tribe have him ranked as last, 4 have him ranked as second to last. So it's like, I'm hoping he can pull it out somehow and figure something out, but I'm not holding my breath. So for now, it's a boot. Lily?
Yeah. Jared, look, to me, from what I can see, Jared's going to be the first boot in Prestige Survivor history. Boot, for sure. So far, so bad. It's all not good. You know? That's all you can really say. It's just not there. Nothing's there. No confessionals. I mean, not great confessionals. There's a little bit. But it seems like he's not doing well with this tribe. I just don't know. I think you have to sort of come to Jesus moment, look in the mirror and say, art works for me. If I'm struggling this bad with keeping up social bonds, how do I sort of, how do I reassess how I go about light works? Because this is, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
So is that a toot or boot?
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like they've started off pretty soft in this game, and it's not the time because we started pretty quick. Within 24 hours of getting to know everybody and went right into a challenge. His tribe lost, and now they're at tribal council. So I think Jared's going to be an easy name on a lot of people's tongues, and they are already thinking about pitching out Damien to the others, which potentially could work because Damien's also on the near the bottom and struggling with time zone, so that might be a decent play for Jared to get out of that first boot place. But even if they get out of that first boot, they're probably second boot. So I've said boot a lot here, and I'm gonna give him a boot.
Yeah, that's bad. I think one thing that's weird too is like my recollection is that he applied for just every returning season after his original season, and it just you waited for so long to like play this server again. Make the most of your opportunity. You know what I mean? It's just I hope he gets more, but right now it's not giving a lot. So we'll see what happens.
Kind of giving time, but less chaos.
Right.
Less everything for me, but
less everything. Okay. Next up, we have 21-year-old dental receptionist Jose from Florida. Jose is quite new to the org community. He's only been playing these for about a year now, but he's already racked up quite a resume with 2 wins and many jury placements with various awards. He plans on making a lot of reactions and bringing a lot of reactions. He's known as a confessional diva. He's always coming up with ideas or plans in his free time when he's in orgs and outside of them. He's usually working on other projects like drawing, graphic design, or we love. When he's not doing that, he's binging reality TV and living his best stoner life. He loves orgs because he likes finding people that love Survivor around his age, as he do, and also watching the Suitman security building was nearing its end and seeing what prestige has in store for spectators and contestants alike. So, Lily, what are your thoughts on Jose?
I like Jose. He seems like a lot of fun. I don't know. This might be the sort of most middle person, you know what I mean, on my personal list. So I think, unfortunately, he's teetering the edge at like straight up like 12th, you know? So I'm going to have to boot. But I like Jose. I think he'll do well. I think it's hard to imagine he doesn't at least make a swap. He just seems like he has good vibes, seems like a lot of fun, seems like he's making good connections. It's just, can he go super, super deep like you want, you know, your toots to go? I'm not quite sure. I'm currently getting like a 10th or a ninth place vibe, but I like Jose a lot. So I'm still gonna boot, but I'm just not confident.
All right. Jason.
Yes, you're giving some good insight there and almost have me teeter into switch. But I think Jose has positioned themselves pretty well with this group. I don't think they're going to become a target. If they're not going to be the loudest person in the room, they're giving us good content. I think they're gonna. I think if anything that could mess up Jose's game is a swap, and getting swap screwed here. So I think if they get a good kind of swap here, they're going to go far. I'm going to give Jose a 2. It's been very entertaining and very fun on the group chat today.
Yeah, it's a 2 for me too. I enjoyed seeing him and what he's done so far. So I see what Lily's saying about there being the risk of flame out early on. I think he's kind of similar to Blissey in that regard of like being a strong personality early on that could flame out early too, or like be like a mid pre-merge, early merge boot because of this round level. So we'll have to see. But you know, here's to hoping. Jason, take it away with our next person.
Okay. Okay is next. 27-year-old teenage girl from the US. That's interesting. Okay, there we go. She comes from Big Brother orgs more than she does Survivor, but this will be her 4th Survivor game, so kind of new to this genre. She believes she plays a well-rounded game. She's loyal to her allies, but also known to strike at them for her own benefit. Nick, or actually no, Lily, we'll start with you on.
Oh, sorry, Jack.
I went to you last time.
So this is like the one where I like it's not looking great at the current moment, but I think it'll go up. I don't know why. This is just an inclination. I like Kay, and I think she's gonna do well. So I'm a 2K. Just pure vibes.
Okay. I guess I'm assuming I'll go next. That's fine. I'll go next. Yeah, I struggle with Kay because I played Waffles Big Brother with Kay, like probably almost 2 years ago at this point, and Kay Janelled me where she took me out final 3. It was devastating for me because I was playing the season, but she won. She won the season, so I fully know how good of a player Kay is. I just think that Kay has gotten off to a tragically slow start. I do think that she has the potential to turn it around, but right now it's not looking great. But also, I think that there's people that are still below her enough to where she can still put in the extra time to build. So I'm hoping that she turns it around because I do like Kay a lot and love her. So we'll see. But it's unfortunately a soft boot for me as well right now. But here's to hoping that Kay is able to go far. But next up, Oh wait, I'm so sorry, Jason. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I said fuck this boy's opinions.
I want to believe that Kay is crushing it behind the scenes right now after they've lost and they're going to tribal council and picking up that social game and becoming everybody's bestie to survive. I just don't know. They're not giving us anything to say otherwise. I'm not seeing anybody say positive things about Kay either. I think right now the benefit for Kay is that there is a Jared and they're in a good time zone. So those two things will be positive for her. They do have a decent relationship with Astrid, which could help her, but I just have too many toots right now that I need to give another boot, and that's going to go to Kay.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
God damn it. The way that I literally had just clicked away from the cast bio page, and then you finish.
You thought I was going on a rant.
Yeah. Good God. Next up, we have 25-year-old Colby, a Suitman Survivor alum, who was the Suitman's Villain of the Year at the final Suitman's Awards ever. This is a lengthy bio that is vaguely religious, hence Colby's cross necklace and his avatar picture. But yeah, like we all know Colby. There's a lot of discussion in this bio about essentially being the HBIC and kind of being a wolf in sheep's clothing, essentially, which I think we've seen from Colby's act so far. I think that he's kind of trying to position himself to be someone that's more so not seeming like he's in control of things. But I think that he's playing well so far, and he's been entertaining. So, like, so far, it's a 2 for me. I have nothing bad to say in terms of how he's played the game so far. So I'm enjoying it. Jason.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we know that the chaos is coming, but he's playing such a smart, and it's like the way he has to start the game, like becoming everybody's besties, getting high on their trust rankings, kind of feeling out where he belongs with fits with everyone else in the tribe. So playing super strong right now, but we already know he's gonna get antsy, and it's gonna, with these 48-hour days, like rounds, they're gonna get antsy quick. So I could see come merge, they're gonna get aggressive. So I don't think Colby's going to win unless he can kind of keep that more internalized and strike at the exact right time. But he's plays such a strong social game that Colby's a 2 for me. He'll get far.
All right.
Did Lily disappear?
Is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
Colby's my top toot. Look it.
Yes.
He's the one of the best players I've ever seen and played with. His ability to code switch on BCs is like unmatched. He plays the dumb card so stupidly well. Like, if you've never played with Colby, you would think that he is a clueless idiot at times. He will pretend to like forget about the smallest things, pretend to not understand about things that prods say. He'll ask for clarification even though he knows exactly what you're talking about. He knows how people perceive him and how to get people to see him as weak, and it's just insane what he's able to do. He's also hilarious, and he can talk to anyone about anything. It's really incredible. I could talk about it for a while, but I won't. Top 2.
All right.
It's actually a really good point, though, as I feel like because most of this cast doesn't know Colby, and the the returning players that are here, I don't think they know Colby's game as well. So this actually is a really big benefit to Colby. Moving on, next up we have Matt, 18 years old, sports journalist from Utah. And I started reading the bio, but there's a lot of filler to start. Works at a pickleball club. I was gonna start at the beginning, but it's like, here, let me tell you why you should pick me. Like, wait, that's not entertaining. Um, Works at a pickleball court, or sorry, club where he works the front desk. Super competitive. Will be big for competitions, which didn't come out today. Yeah, there's not a whole ton to take out of this bio, unfortunately, Matt. But your application was good enough to get you here, so that's good. I will start with Matt, though. I feel like Matt hasn't given us a ton yet. Also firmly finds himself near the bottom. But I do feel that he is withholding a lot of stuff from us right now. From the spectator's point of view, I think now that we've got our first challenge under our belt, I can see Matt really stepping up in the social aspect to avoid being this first boot and eventually move himself up. I think this tribe also gives him a lot of opportunities to shine because it's not really as strong right now as the Orange Tribe. So I'm very hopeful for Matt from what I've seen in group dynamics. So Matt's a 2 for me. Let's pass this off to Lilly.
Interesting. I think Matt's chill. I like the vibe. He kind of reminds me of Ian in terms of his archetype. And all these Suitman's references. So sorry, that's going to be a little bit before we get beyond the Suitman's vibe. But the archetype that he gives is very, sports bro. Which can be very valuable in an org setting because a lot of people see these sports bros as kind of a little less threatening and mentally challenging. Even though there's no correlation, obviously, they're just regular people. So I like Matt. I do think he's in my bottom boot area. So I am going to boot Matt. But I think he'll do fine.
All right.
Fair.
Oh, it's me. Sorry. I enjoy Matt. I think that he seems to be integrating well in the tribe in terms of for one, he just got added into the first alliance of the season. But I'm enjoying him, and I'm curious to see what he brings. I think the Ian comparison is a pretty good comparison so far. Ian's charisma is unmatchable, to be so for real. But I think that from what Matt has shown so far, I'm thinking positively about Matt. So it's a 2 for me.
I didn't know we had an alliance. I need to see who's in this. Please hold.
Yep.
Yeah. Good. Carry on.
That's all I had to say.
And now, who's up next?
Oh, I thought you hadn't talked.
Okay, I was awkwardly passing this to you.
I was like, hello? Okay, next up, we have 38-year-old Pixie. She is a math teacher from Augusta, Georgia. She offers a fresh look to a Survivor org player because she has not played very many and probably won't play. Like a typical Survivor player, she can be social and likable and can be very loyal to people that she truly believes are loyal to her. She also can make the hard choices when it comes to doing what's best for her own game and will use both her head and her heart, and can be pretty clever when it comes to surviving. So, Lillian, thoughts on Pixie?
I think she seems like a sweetheart. It's tough for older women in this game. Teaching, I know, is a brutal job. And it seems like she also, she had a nephew's birthday party today. I think people like her so far. I think people do middling. I don't know if she got it. I'm going to boot her, but I do like the vibe. And she just seems sweet. So, not saying, she will make it far. Not out of the equation. But just from what I don't see super, super deep. Sound good.
Really, is there something wrong with your headset?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Really just kind of coming and going a little bit.
Oh no. Am I better?
Like
Can you read me?
Yeah, you're fine now. You're good now.
Okay. Was any of what I said coherent?
We heard boot.
I no,
How boot?
you could make out like the general gist of it, but like there were parts of it that like would come out. So
I might be my Wi-Fi and not my mic,
yeah.
but I'm gonna boot.
By the way, it's a boot. Okay, Jason.
I think Pixie is doing a great job right now. Loved the video confessional earlier. Not at all what I expected from an org player. Almost like what I expected Christine to kind of be playing this game, but Pixie's playing it better than Christine. I really like her, and they're a toot for me. Nick?
Yeah, I agree. I'm enjoying Pixie. Like I think that obviously there's like time constraints, not in terms of time zone, but just how much free time she genuinely has. Like teachers are fucking busy all the time. Like you're teaching for 8-9 hours a day, and you're grading outside of school, and like you're teaching math. First of all, sucking props to you. I could never teach math. Mostly because I'm terrible at math, but also, oh no, no, thank you. Either way, it's a cheer from me. That's all I gotta say on my tangent. Good for Pixie. Jason, take it away.
Next up, we have Sammy, 30-year-old trust operations administrator from Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Just chill.
Before I go on to the bio, I just love the age range of this cast. It's so great to see from 17 to 53, the oldest on the season. So amazing. But Sammy starts this with, I'm either going to crash and burn or make a big impact on the season. There's no middle ground. And I think that's all I'm going to say from this long bio that he posted, and I will start. Right now, Sammy is burning. Crashed and burning from my perspective. Like, lucky, like, they won the first challenge, so they're gonna have some time to make up the ground. But from what I'm seeing so far, and from all of the toots I've already given, and I'm gonna give a little bit of a spoiler alert, I have one more toot to give, and Sam is not earning it for me. So Sam is a boot for now. Nick, let's go to you next.
Yeah, so Sammy, I just played with like a month ago in Survival Org and was aligned with him, and I can see what people are talking about in terms of him being he's very straightforward. He's very straightforward, like very literal when you're talking to him. He's not long-winded. I'm long-winded, he's not. But I think sometimes being so direct and what can be perceived as short is kind of a negative in our org specifically because of how fast-paced it can be. So I think that there's that kind of element that's kind of put him in a bad place on his tribe so far. I hope that he can get out of it. I don't know if he can. The person that he was talking about being aligned with before and like dragging to the end was Christine, I think, which they're the bottom two on the tribe as of right now, so it's kind of crazy. But like, I think that Christine honestly might even have more pull than him, solely on the basis of her being a mom, which love that for her. But I hope that Sammy can figure something out because I do like him and he is my friend. But I'm sorry that it's a boot right now based on where his position is on his tribe. So sorry, buddy, but it's true. Lily?
Yeah, I mean, everything you said, I think he's unremarkable so far. And not a good way, not really riding the middle as far as I can tell. Just not there, unfortunately, at the current moment. But we'll see how it goes. It's a good cast, and good players could fall by the wayside. But it's going to be a boot for me.
All right. Next up, we've got. Wait, Jason, did I cut you off again?
Nope. I'm glad you're paying attention. You're good to proceed.
Okay. Like shit, not again. Next up, we have 53-year-old attorney Scott from Montreal, Quebec. He's a Packers fan, begrudgingly, sadly for him. But anyway, he's on a tour to get a bad taste out of his mouth. He knows that prestige is not Suitman's, but he's kind of going off of shaky ground based on his last appearance in a season in this server. So he knows like he needs to work on his timing his moves, timing when he should join an org. But he claims to be a beast in orgs that takes place in the first 4 months of the year. His average placement in the winter slash spring org is 5th. He almost always makes Final 5, and this game will be no different. He's a strong survivor player. He's entertaining, and we'll see his ugly mug around for a long time to entertain you all. He's 53, but he says that he acts 23. It's time for his revenge tour. Lily, what are your thoughts on Scott?
I think Scott's a really good player. It's a 2 for me. I think he'll find a way out of this tribe, even if it does struggle. And he does have a way to get along with people of all ages.
Yes.
He's smart. I do think he'll become a big threat down the line, but that's really down the line. So for now, I'm going to toot him. I just like him. He's great.
Yeah. I'm good thought. I am going to give my guy Scott a soft boot. I do like him. Like, we've played several orgs together, one of them being Suitman's and Shibaba with Lily. We were on opposite sides of Lily in the game, but either way. Point is, Scott, I know for a fact, is a savvy player. I mean, you know what? No, I'm going to modify my answer because thinking about him as a player and knowing what he's capable of, coupled with how he's actually done relatively well this first 24 hours, I'm actually going to modify that to a 2. And I'm going to bring... I'm sorry, but I'm going to give Pixie a soft boot instead. But I'm going to give Scott a 2 because I do see the vision with Scott in terms of his gameplay, and he's actually been integrating really well so far on his tribe, and is also part of that first alliance with Matt and Lucy and Ben. So it's a 2 for me. Jason, thoughts on Scott?
No, I'm starting to second guess my thought process here. No, I think Scott is such a great player. We've seen him play a few seasons already, and I do want to give a special note to his one of the first interactions that we've seen. Him talking to Vine, where he says, "Dude, if I were gay and 30 years younger, I'd probably tap your Abby."
I thought you said top. Did he want to say top?
No, tap.
It's a whole lot.
But top would be even funnier, actually.
Oh my fucking god. That's hilarious.
But no, that is so funny to me. Like, 53 years old, yes, but knows how to play to the audience. And I feel like I can relate to that as somebody who's won a season with a very, very young cast. Like, you really do need to change your whole way that you communicate. And Scott does have that capability. Also has started off super strong, is high on a lot of people's trust rankings. But I could also see a big fall for Scott.
Interesting. Okay.
The one thing in Scott's favor is on a super weak tribe right now. Could turn around, but so far not the strongest tribe. So he's kind of set up for success. And we've seen him fall from grace a few times. So there's that potential. I am going to make a change, though. I am actually going to toot Scott, which means I have to put somebody at a boot, and I am going to change Matt to a boot.
Oh?
You people are coming around to my ways.
That's tea. You spilled.
Oh, I think that's me next. I almost took a
it is you next.
breather. Let me get this information. Next up, we have Tim Riggins, 40-year-old risk management manager from Massachusetts. Did I say that right? I always pronounce that incorrectly.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's Massachusetts.
Tim Riggins, you might know him as a football player.
Of course.
Obviously. Which makes this entire thing very different. Like, what is actually real in this bio that I could read to everybody? Because everything is like very in character. He brings something to the game, grit, knows how to take up hits, get back up, and keep moving. those
Oh,
loyalty,
yeah.
when to stand by someone and when to cut them.
Yes.
So yes, very much in character this whole game. We all know and love Tim Riggins. I will let Nick go again.
This diva is giving Ted Lasso for one. Yeah. Tim just played Lore Viper. Went by not Tim, however, in Lore Viper. He went by Eric Taylor in Lore Viper. He played pretty well there. I think that he's playing okay so far. Only thing is so far is that I think that he's also kind of lower-ish on the trust rankings that we asked for earlier. And he's not by any means boring or playing a bad game. I just think that there's more to be seen. So for that reason, I'm going to give Tim a soft boot. I'm so sorry to that man, but right now, that's where we're at. Lily.
I love Tim Riggins. The name is just amazing. The fact that he's like probably this like washed up high school quarterback, it's just so good. Everything like then I just can't. But I'm booting him. Softly. Softly. But like the vibe is so fun. And he's actually doing okay. It's just, I don't have much room. But I think he's going to do well. And I'm really rooting for him because the thought of Tim Riggins becoming a prestige survivor legend just sends me to the moon. So I'm hoping Tim Riggins. I just can't stop saying Tim Riggins. I love Tim Riggins.
The one player that you have to say the full name.
Yeah, fucking Beetlejuice. My God.
I love Tim Riggins.
For me, Tim Riggins. I get it. Sorry, I just need to say it. I've been enjoying them, but like kind of like to echo what Nick said, there are so many really great players here. I only have so many to give for Chase, and Tim's not quite at that upper echelon of what we've seen, but could get there. And because of that, Tim will get a soft boot from them.
All right. Next,
triple soft boot.
Period. As God has planned for Tim Riggins to be in his comeback era. Tim Riggins is coming for y'all's throats in this cast, and he will be on All Stars. Mark my words.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have 20-year-old elementary education teacher V from Belgium. They are a huge reality TV nerd to the point where they've watched more reality TV show seasons than there are states in the U.S. Some of their favorites include Australian Survivor, Drag Race, and The Mole. They love games, singing, dancing, and obviously orgs. They're ready to kick ass and do whatever it takes to get the win and become the first prestige sole survivor. They plan on playing this game with their whole heart and show you all why there's someone to watch. And no words of legendary Paul Heyman. It's not a prediction, but a spoiler. Lily, thoughts on D?
Do y'all remember me in Suitman Survivor Dynasties?
Vaguely, yes.
I think that's the vibe, unfortunately.
No, I was thinking this. I wasn't thinking that until the challenge.
Right. A little too knowledgeable. Took a little too much control, which I can't blame them. I mean, like it's an exciting moment. I've experienced it being back when you've hyped yourself up for so long. But it's going to be a boot because I do think it will unfortunately come back quick unless their behavior can change.
Are they being sent to the principal's office? I mean,
they're doing okay. I mean, honestly, and I think they will continue to do okay for at least a little bit. But I do think every now and again we have like a sort of like, let's get out a target, and you don't want it to be like a target. You want it to be like a perceived target. You know what I mean? And that stuff happens in the pre-merge a lot. So I think V would be the unfortunate recipient of that.
Okay, Jason.
Yeah, I agree. I think I love V, and I want to see them do super well because they've been trying for so long to get back.
Right.
into like the Suitman's universe, but now getting the first chance here with Prestige, I want them to do well. But and they seem to be doing all right in the social game right now. But I listened to the challenge today and they took on such a leadership role, but the way that they even spoke up in that leadership role was like really condescending to the other team. Like, I don't know if it did their game as good as I think they are coming across. And it is coming across as super knowledgeable. And when somebody is looking at making a big move, I think V's going to be an easy name to throw out and people are going to jump on it. So I'm a little worried for them. I want them to turn this around quick. But we'll see. So they are going to get a soft boot from me.
All right. I'm going to give V a toot.
Yeah.
So obviously V has been trying for a long time to come back and play in the server. I think that V, like you guys both said, is coming across someone that is too knowledgeable. And when you have this like unique situation that we have where we've rebranded, this is the first season of a brand new org in the same server, you want to come across, or at least I personally would want to come across as someone, while they are an alumni, as somebody to not flaunt that knowledge, because I feel like paints an unnecessary target on your back. And I think because it's been so long since they've last played in the Survivor area of the server, there's a lot of probably like jitters and excitement, and it's probably overwhelming to maintain that and control it. So it's, manifesting where it's trying to be overly social and being really helpful in challenges. But like that is going to be something that if it's not reined in, it's going to be their downfall early on. But I do not doubt that they have what it takes to go far if they are able to refine that and really kind of integrate themselves in and just dial it back. Well, I think they can do it. So I'm giving them a 2.
Yeah, it's interesting because like between like Lilly and my game and dynasties, and like Lilly, I don't think you had a choice. Like everybody just knows you and thinks Suitman, so like you were kind of screwed from before the game even started.
A little bit.
For me, on my side, like everybody looked at me as production, but I downplayed the shit out of that. Like I don't do anything. I don't even know. I just started. I don't shit. I don't even want to be considered a part of production. Like I downplayed it so much. And I think V needs to find that balance of being overly knowledgeable of this game, because that could, like, people will either see that as a way like you jump on that to get you further because they know things and could help you with challenges, like Patrick did when I played my first season with him. Like he was somebody that came with skill set but wasn't as aggressive about it. So yeah, V will be very interesting to see their progression in this game. I'm excited to see it. The last player of the season is Vine. 18-year-old student nurse from Florida. We have a lot of Floridians, and I somehow got most of them.
Yeah.
Let me get there. I actually think their bio is so much fun. It's like essentially I'll say it, like they're here to have fun, or their perception is that they're here to have fun, make friends, and vibe. And that's not exactly what they're doing. That's what they want everybody to perceive them as playing, but really they know what's going on. They're going to be laying on the charm, wit, and smarts, but really playing from behind the scenes and coming across as not as knowledgeable, but playing a strong game. And I'll start here. I can see that. Like I think everything that they put into their bio, they're executing. I know it's only been just over 24 hours. But they're putting that into practice. And a lot of the times when we see people write a bio, they're just trying to get cast for a season. I'm seeing that with Vine. The way that they talk in their confessionals, they are playing the game, but they are socializing so hardcore right now. And they are firmly right behind Bliss in second place on this tribe. Either 1 or 2, actually only number 1, and that is for Bliss. Everybody else, like high end, but not top, which I think is a perfect place to be. And I think Vine is playing such a good game already, and I'm excited to see what they bring. I'm kind of getting like Sean vibes already from Dynasties. He won the season. And if they can keep that up, they obviously have a really good shot at winning this game. So they're a solid 2 for me. Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Vine's been good so far. It's a 2 for me, for one. I think the Vine's been good so far. They've been very entertaining. Um, I think in the same vein as Blissey that I said before, I do think that they have the potential to flame out early as well. So I'm curious to see how they progress in this game. But for now, I'm liking what I'm seeing a lot. So it's a 2, 100%. So that's me. Lily, thoughts?
I agree with everything both of y'all said. I think they just have the aura of being savvy. It's a tough tribe they're on right now, but I think they're going to make it out okay. I think they probably have a good ability to make relationships in the event of a swap and a merge. It's just a good vibe. So yeah, 2.
All right. Okay, so we are going to actually do our draft portion offline because me and Jason, so we won't subject Lily to that struggle. But we do have a decent amount of questions that we've gotten from Trusted Specs about the conception of Prestige and a bit about casting as well as predictions for the season. So we're gonna get into them. So I'll ask the first one regarding kind of what was that?
It was my chair.
I think Lily.
Oh, I was like, oh my God.
I've been in this chair for 13 hours today. Getting up and doing laundry and stuff like that, but it's been a long day of Prestige Survivor for me. So I'm a little antsy to get out of it.
So valid, so valid. Well, let's get through this question some really quick. Okay, so number 1 from Suitman alum Nora. What insights can you give us about y'all's thought processes? I don't know what just happened. I had a stroke. What insights can you give us about y'all's thought processes in regard to choosing the location and the overall vibe of this historic first season? Well, I'm giving that to Lily because Lily, you're the one that designed this season. So
yeah. So I wanted it to be at least somewhat consequential for season 1. And I didn't want to just be like, oh, everything's new, I wanted to acknowledge that we are from Suitman Survivor. And so Suitman's first season was the Amazon, and everyone was like, oh, season 100, it's going back to the Amazon, they're going to show their, pay tribute to their original season by going back to the Amazon. And we didn't end up doing that, but I still wanted to do that in some way. So I ended up having this idea of the sort of, we are in the same universe as Super Survivor. It has ended. It has been like a decade since it ended, and we are sort of taking a trip back, and we are exploring the ruins of Super Survivor, the Amazon's tribal council. And that was like the vibe I wanted for the logo, and I think it came out pretty well. I think it's very mysterious. It's a little charming. I don't know. I like it. I think it was a good first season to start with. It's also somewhat, I guess, basic in a way. It's not super, doesn't take a lot of risks, which is what you want for season 2. So yeah, I mean, season 1.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think it was executed well, and given that Gen 1 season 1 of Suitman's was the Amazon, I think it's a nice nod to kind of pay homage in a way to that ending. But yeah, I think it was a good fit for us with this. So I enjoyed it. But Jason, do you want to take the next question, or do you want me to continue?
I can take the next question.
Go for it.
From Jack Sim and production. The series is obviously the continuation of Suitman. What have you helped shift around, and what are you most excited to see change?
The way I read these questions, now I forgot them, so now I actually have to think on the spot. That is a good question. I think what I've helped with, for the most part, the server, like, just like there's so many things that like have Suitman's font that we've had to switch over to Prestige font, like the commands and stuff like that. It's all very, very in depth what Kieran had, and it's been a hell of an undertaking. I was very surprised by how much we actually had to do there. So that was the biggest thing. What I'm most excited about is to try a map for sure. I just think it's very fresh. I love the idea of players having agency and how they want to look, because it felt very stiff, be like, oh, I select this space and you either get nothing or you get something. I wanted there to be some sort of like, hey, I'm going to look hard for this, or I really think it's here, let me look, versus I don't know where to look, let me just see if I can do a quick scan or a broad sweep and see what vibe I get. I also love the idea of players sort of finding some time alone, or a close ally, or a risky search. These all sorts of things that like real Survivor players would take advantage of in order to look for idols. And I hope to introduce some more stuff as the seasons go on in terms of how we can increase the odds on the tribe map and make it less about like clues like, oh, the idol is not in this spot, versus, hey, you have an increased shot at doing this because the rest of your tribe is away. But be careful, they could come back and catch you doing something. I just love the idea. It feels very immersive, and I think there's a lot we could play with it.
I was actually going to touch on that. And immersive is something I feel like you were bringing to the Suitman's world with your recaps. Immersive just seems to be that term that, I don't know, when I think of you, I always think resonates with me. Because it does seem like this is a more immersive experience. Do you have more plans on additional immersive, like immersing the castaways into this experience of Survivor?
Well, so the castaways, I wanted to do, and actually you just reminded me of this, I wanted to do little idol write-ups, basically sort of stories that people will kind of encounter as they find idols and advantages. I forgot to do it this season, but next season I might do it in terms of like, oh, let's say you're on the river here and you find something and it's a river title. I'll write it about how you fight the crashing waves or whatever the current, and you see something floating and you try to tie it and you think someone's coming, but they don't come. And so many things you can play with that make people feel like this is their story. And in terms of stories, I actually am really, really, really working on the recap, and we'll see it when episode 1 ends. But it's going to be new and improved. It's going to be a little easier to read, I hope, a little easier to follow. It's not just going to be big blocks of text. There's going to be a lot of graphics with it. It was a hell of an undertaking. I think it was a 198 total images that I had to make this morning. And this is a 2-tribe season. Spoiler alert, we're not adding a 3rd tribe. But like future seasons, it's going to be even tougher. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I get sick of it. But this was something that I've always wanted to do, sort of have a very coherent, easy to read guide, and something that players can read as well.
Yeah, I think honestly the best thing was getting rid of the bots. Like for the idol hunt, I think,
oh yeah,
like you said, it was so legit, but like the bot would just, like, from a production standpoint, the bot would fucking crash all the time. I hated it so much. I truly did. So love Kieran, obviously, always and forever, but the bot I hated. So that part was a huge welcome shift for sure. But Jason, any additional thoughts before we move on to the next question?
Nope. I guess I will say, as a spoiler, like the graphics look phenomenal, and I can't wait to see that first recap. And you truly outdone yourself with all of those graphics. It's going to look incredible, and the amount of work you've put into to make it immersive, even for the trusted specs. And the specs you will get to see it after the season. I think it's going to kind of separate Prestige with just another org. So, great work.
Thanks.
Yeah. What excites you the most about starting over, Lilly?
Starting over, the idea that anyone can play, I think, like anyone, any combination, new legends, old legends, just I don't know. It's just a fresh start. You can. I'm not going to put a limit on anything. There's going to be no generations of Prestige Survivor. We could have Prestige Survivor season 97. You know what I mean? Which leaves all sorts of room open for season ideas. We're not going to feel like, oh, we only have so and so seasons left. We don't want to do a all first boot season. We want a legend season. No, like we are going to really think and have fun with everything.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a positive. Jason, thoughts
The
about
next question. Oh, sorry, what?
Never mind. I was just seeing if you were excited about starting new for any reason.
Sorry,
he's not.
This has been an hour and a half, so I was like, okay, I think we need to move forward. However, this is probably what more people are excited about hearing anyways.
Anyway.
No, but I would just like hearing that from Lily is just really probably what I'm most looking forward to now. It's just like it's exciting to see new players play with legends of Suitmans, but having that creative freedom. Not that we didn't have that with Suitmans, but like it's just renewed energy, I guess, for something new. And it's nice to be from the ground, like be a part of it.
Oh, and the badges, those are cool, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea that people could have a collection of like 40 badges over the years and be like, yeah, I did this. I was on this season. I did this year. It just sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm most excited to tell Lily I won't be playing any of the 97 seasons.
What? I expect all of you to play at some point. That's the rule. What?
Oh.
Yep.
This is my 2 weeks notice.
The 2 weeks notice. He said, I'm resigning day one of fucking season 1.
Yeah, I think we haven't made the first round of council. I'll be here for a couple more weeks. We will move forward. Spark has a question for you. He asks, share any thoughts on your vision for the series as a whole, which I think we kind of touched on, but is there anything else you could share?
No, not really. Other than just the immersion, I think that's the biggest focus. I think for me in terms of the change from Suitmans. I also want us as a prod team to sort of work as a unit a little more. I think we can all sort of find ways to make our mark on these seasons and come up with twists and ideas and themes and come up with totally unique vibes that Suitman's never really got the chance to tread on. I just think there's so many opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. From Patrick, there's a few people who have made a reappearance after playing on Suitmans. What made them stand out to secure a spot on the first season of?
Yeah. Well, y'all can answer a couple of these. I think the idea was we didn't want the usual suspects. We wanted, and we didn't really get the usual suspects applying either, which was nice. It was a genuine, authentic sort of cast that came about by just people thinking that they wanted to play in the community again. So these players, they're not who you would expect, but they are who I want.
Yeah, I think so. Like we talked about, obviously, I covered this earlier too, about how for the first season we kind of wanted, if we were going to have a line, like it being people that are less active or frequently around in the server, that maybe played Suitmans 3 years ago and then have been in the server but like aren't like as active or like aren't as frequently seen. Like, and I think we got that for the most part, honestly, which is really lovely.
Yeah.
We had got a lot of people that kind of have unfinished business with Suitmans. I mean, they all haven't won, but like just the majority of them are all pre-mergers. So it's really fun to see that kind of element and kind of see them have this fresh start and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because like because we've done so many returning seasons near the end of Suitman's era, like there was a lot of people that were looking forward to applying and missed their chance at those last few seasons, and they came out to apply for this. So even when we were casting, it wasn't like we came out and said we need X amount of previous players. We picked the best players that apply, knowing that we have a handful of players that still are ready to play season 2. But like, these were the best applicants. Like, we really kind of didn't look at it as players who previously played and need a second chance. Like, these people earned it by their application, and we have the 22 best players in this game. And I think we touched on it earlier. The plan wasn't even to have 22.
Nope.
I don't know if Lily wants to talk about that.
Yeah, we were originally going to do 20, and then we just couldn't agree on who that 20 was going to be, so we expanded it. I would have never guessed that we would do 22 in a first season, and I don't think the cast would either. But I think it's worth it. I don't want people to miss their shot. I don't want people to think that, we don't want them. And we did have some alternates, and I hope to see them on season 2. And anyone else who applied. I mean, I would like to sort of continue seeing the same names, and then eventually you're going to get your shot. It's pretty simple.
Right. Okay. Jason, next question.
Next question is that we're actually in the season predictions portion of our questions, and this one comes from Amelia. Who do you want to see do well, even though you don't believe they will? Which is a really great question, considering we just did our 2 and boots.
Yeah. Tim Riggins.
Wait. Oh, you did soft boot then.
Yeah, Tim Riggins for sure.
Okay.
No.
K. I think it's gonna be K.
Oh, it's like,
oh wait,
okay,
sorry, I
no
wrote the question wrong. I wrote the question wrong. Who's going to who do I want to see well that probably won't do well? That's not K. Sorry, I want to see K do well. I think that she probably could, but I think that Blissey will probably be an early boot.
Really?
I want her to do well. Yes, based on how she's playing, I think she's going to get sniped for being a threat too early. I do.
Okay, I think you misread the question the second time.
No, I didn't. I literally said, who do I want to see well, even though I don't believe that they will. Going home early is not doing well, Jason.
Yeah, but it says, who do you want to see do well, even though you don't believe they will?
I just said Blissey. That's my answer. That is my answer.
Okay, I will say, I think Sandra. I have them as a boot right now, but I think that they're going to do probably better than, because I think, all 3 of us booted. I think they're going to end up doing better than we think.
Yeah.
And that's my hot take on that.
Also, update, I did in fact read the question for the second time.
I know you did.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. If that's the hill you want to die on, being wrong, go ahead.
So my answer still is K then. Anyway, moving on to the final question though. From Waffles, who do you believe will be an underdog this season?
Underdog. Let me look at the cats real quick. Just quick little scan. Pixie. Pixie for sure. I think Pixie will be. I think she could have a chance to actually slide through and actually make some things happen.
I'm going with Tim Riggins.
Tim Riggins!
He's a sleeper hit.
Yeah, he's just a hit.
Period.
This is going to be the next hottest take of mine, because I have them as a firm boot, and they're starting off pretty poorly right now, but they've won immunity, so there's definitely a chance that they can change this. I'm saying Christine.
Ooh, mother.
No, not Lily and Matt Judgment.
Lily said, I don't know about all that.
I don't think it's there.
That was one sound, and that said something.
He said absolutely fucking not. All right. Well, that's all the questions that we've got. But Lily, do you have any final thoughts about the season before we close today?
Man, it's been a long journey to get here, and it's been a lot of work. It's already been a lot of work during the season. I hope it, A, I hope I don't get burned out. B, I hope people enjoy it, and I hope people stay active and sort of live in the moment. You know what I mean? It's always sad when a season ends, so enjoy it while it's here. Right now, we have 22 people all in the game, all vying for the chance, and then, pretty soon you blink and it's going to be Final 6, and you'll be like, man, remember, when we had all these people who thought they had a chance. So it's very exciting. And I hope this season goes well. I hope there's not too much toxicity. I hope we just have fun, and I hope this that the first season is the first to become our legendary season.
Hell yeah. Woo! Jason, thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna like echo that. Like, it's the first season. Like, I'm excited to see all new legends being created from this. Like, it's a whole fresh new start. Previous history, yes, we're kind of talking about that right now, but it's gonna be different. Like, everyone's previous games are not gonna really matter after this season. I'm really excited to see who gets that first winner role, who's gonna be the first villain of the series and the heroes. Like, I'm really, really excited about that. And those badges that you've created, and now having those like live on forever, and we'll see who the previous villains and heroes are. So I'm really excited about this whole fresh start. And these 22 players get to make their impact immediately and set the tone. Nick?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm just excited. I think that we've got a good group, and we've all put a lot of hard work into it. Lilly has been here for 13 hours doing stuff today alone. So I think that you honestly will probably have a hard time finding a more dedicated team to like producing something that's really good and special. So I'm just really excited that we're finally have launched and have a great group of cast and active spectators. So I'm just really excited for what's to come. So I'm just grateful to be a part of it. That's all. But in the meantime, though, I want to thank you all for listening, and I want to thank Lilly for joining Jason and I today and being the very first ever guest on Snuffed.
Woo! First to get my badge.
You get
get
your
my
badge
badge
for being a podcast guest. Lilly.
I deserved it. I deserved it.
I'm currently carrying over a giant badge to Lilly right now.
Yeah, you in the podcast here you can't see it, but it's about 64 pounds. It's made of gold.
Period.
Yeah.
All right. But for now, everyone, we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. But the season's on. Let's go. Bye, guys.
Woo! Goodbye.